you're 59 years old. Where are you going to go? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
And she retired. Like, she put in her retirement paperwork. What are you doing? Like, what do you think they're going to send you your pension in Mexico? Hey, this is Matt Cox, and we're having technical difficulty with my equipment. Yeah. So we're here with John Boseak.
Yeah, we're at my house.
Yeah,
today.
we're gonna do a podcast on they were escaped. There was the
Vicky White and Casey White.
Right,
the Alabama.
So there was Casey White was the inmate.
Yes.
And then Vicky White was the guard. Well, she was like in charge of the whole thing, or the transportation or something.
Yes.
So she was a guard there and where was this? Alabama. And I think everybody knows this, but they had a relationship.
Yes.
And she arranged for his escape, and they've been caught since.
Yes. He was captured.
Yeah. Well, she killed herself. So
she chose not to be captured.
She chose a different path.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I was just kind of following very closely, probably with everybody else in America, unless you've been kind of living underneath a rock, or you just don't pay attention to the news or whatever. But it's kind of hard not to when it's on the top of every news feed on the internet and on television and whatnot. So, we were gonna do one before this. Like, we were gonna do one, but I didn't know how quickly it would take them to get caught. And it seemed like they should have had a plan. So we thought we had a little bit more time. And, because I just assumed if you had that much time to plan, yes,
you would be able to get, new identities. You would have a clear path for leaving the country or for something, for starting over something.
If you're going to plan that far ahead to break a guy out of prison, walk him out of the fucking front door, you would think there would be some stuff you would have lined up already,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, maybe she did have a few things. I mean, obviously she sold her house.
Yeah.
Were you reading that? I didn't read that.
Half the value. Oh yeah. It was worth about $200,000. She sold it for $90,000 or $95,000. For $95,000, she had like $90,000 in cash. And they thought she may have additional money in cash,
right?
Because she was extremely frugal,
right?
She saved money, so she may have had.
Right. She worked for the Department of Corrections for 17 years,
right? But she also lived with like her mother,
right?
So she had very little bills.
She had no kids. She was never married,
right?
And
no, she was married. She was married.
Widowed.
Yeah, the guy died.
She was widowed.
Right.
That's right. No kids.
Right. And she obviously masterminded the entire thing.
Yes.
Because everything I saw and read is that I think one guy even said that Casey's elevator didn't go all the way to the top floor.
All the way to the top floor.
Like, he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah.
In the drawer. So,
yeah. Apparently the big guy was kind of slow.
Yeah. So he was. So basically, he was already incarcerated. He had gotten how many years? 75?
75 years.
Yeah, so he got like 75 years for kidnapping.
Yeah.
And he's apparently got an addiction to meth.
Methamphetamine addiction.
Right. He'd come through the jail. He'd met her. They started some type of a friendship or a relationship, as much of a relationship as you can have with a CO, with a guard.
See, when did them two meet? Because I didn't read that part. I never really got that fucking.
Probably 3 or 4 years ago, and then
when he was in the county before he went and got sentenced and went off to state prison.
Right.
And then they kept in contact.
They kept for 2 years. I think it was for 2 years they kept in contact, and then he wrote a letter. Mm-hmm. And this is where you had mentioned this because you had a different take on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you came up with that or you heard it or you just came up with it or
that she was going to see him.
Right. Well, no, not. First of all, we don't know that she was going to see him. That was said, and then it kind of was recanted. That they thought she was going to see him, that she had a false identity and was going to see him, but in fact, then they came back and the news said, no, she's never gone to see. She didn't go see him. She does have a false identity, and she was communicating with him, but she had never gone to see him.
Right.
But here's what I'm saying is that while Casey was in state prison,
Right.
he wrote a letter where he confessed to a murder.
Yeah.
And was brought, and so he was charged in that to an unsolved murder from like 10 years earlier to a woman that he had no affiliation with. And
Right.
so what they did was
Yeah.
Alabama charged him and then brought him back. Well, first they sent a detective out to talk to him. They talked to him
Right.
briefly.
Yeah.
Decided to charge him and bring him back. Now, here's the thing. He didn't quite know, like he couldn't tell them how he had killed the woman, what he had used. Like he didn't quite have all the facts right.
Right.
But it's Alabama,
So you're thinking this was a plan hatched between Casey and Vicky White to get him back to the county
back
jail.
to the county jail. Well, that's what you had mentioned that.
Yeah.
You said you had thought that's what had happened.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, that's the clearly, if he was lying about a murder, then he was just trying to get back to the county jail.
Right.
Because
and he didn't have all the facts right. Like
Yeah.
how do you forget how you killed somebody?
Yeah.
You're saying, I choked her to death, or I stabbed her, or I beat her to death, but clearly you neglect to mention you
Yeah.
used a hammer.
Yeah, and on side note, they were going to go look into a suspicious death of one of his former girlfriends. That was like a cold case or something. They're reopening that up now.
Oh, an additional one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, because the one woman he had no affiliation with at all. He didn't know her at all. An older
Yeah.
woman. They don't know how.
Yeah.
It was in the same area he lived in, but they didn't really know. It was just a random thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, he gets moved back. He starts. Now he's in the same jail as the CO or the guard. I keep saying CO. So a deputy. Was she a deputy or prison guard? Whatever. She's a prison guard or guard. So he's in there with her, and she arranges it so that she basically she's in charge of transports, and she arranges it so that the transports are full, and so he has to be brought by himself to the courthouse for like a mental.
She said that he had a mental evaluation,
Yes.
which he did not. It wasn't even scheduled.
Right.
And protocol is to have 2 officers in the car when
Yes.
they're transporting.
But she overrode that.
Yeah.
She said, "No, that's
She's
fine.
like, I'm the only one that's,
I'm
has enough
qualified.
experience
Yeah,
to-
I'm qualified. I'll take him. We don't
Yeah.
need another guard. It's
Yeah.
fine. I'll put him in. He's no problem." Gets him in the car, drives off,
That's it.
goes to jumps into their escape vehicle.
Yeah, they drive from there to a shopping mall where she had a car put.
She'd already bought new clothes for him.
Yep.
She already had camping gear. They already had a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So then they switch cars. They drive.
Yeah.
The problem is 2 hours later, the car breaks down.
Somebody sold her a lemon.
Yeah.
Ain't that about a bitch?
So-
You go to buy a getaway car and it's a lemon.
Well, so they tried to spray paint it, right?
They showed like the rear one of the quarter panels was spray painted green. Like they started spray painting, and then like maybe 15 minutes in, they figured out that this is just not going to be a good idea.
Gosh, Casey,
Yeah.
I don't think one can was enough, honey. I don't think either one of these two were the brightest bulbs.
Yeah, it kind of just seems like they were bumbling and fumbling their way through this whole fucking thing. I mean, they were at a car wash. That's how they got caught.
Yeah. Well, they got another car.
Yeah,
They
they
ended
had
up-
several vehicles.
Right,
They had a Cadillac, apparently. They had a Mustang, and they had an F-150.
Right, but I'm saying, so that one car broke down. Somehow or another, they got to the other vehicle. They bought another vehicle, I
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
think $6,000.
Yeah.
They went to a motel. Like, they were only like 4 hours away, right? 3 or 4 hours away.
They were in Indiana.
Yeah, but it was only like 3 or 4 hours away from where she left. Like, they didn't, and this was what?
11 days.
11 days later, you went 4 hours away. You're hanging out in a cheap motel, and they end up abandoning another vehicle. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, they
Yeah.
did have camping gear, so I don't know why they wouldn't have gone. Like, if you've got a minimum of $90,000, which, by the way, they didn't recover all the money, or at least they haven't as of today.
Right.
So, if you've got 90 grand, you've got enough to get a lot of camping gear and plenty of food, and you can go hang out in the woods for a month or two. You hang out in the woods for 2 months.
Yeah, listen, with 90 grand, She could have had a truck and a trailer stocked with fucking food and camping supplies and everything else. Not some little fucking Ford Edge. I didn't know what the fuck they think they were going to do. You know what I mean? She could have, wham, they could have went to like a KOA or some shit like that. She could put a wig on or had somebody else check them into like a fucking KOA.
Right.
Or whatever. And then, like you said, just lay low for a couple months.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 months. Let it all blow over. Weather starts to turn. Then, you know, you're supposed to have passports set up and fucking.
Yeah, they don't have any. They don't have.
But
any.
we're dealing with a couple of Alabama country fucking people.
Yeah,
you know,
they're not. What kills me is so. Like, there's no clear getaway plan. They don't. They had supposedly they had fake identities, but I don't know that they had fake IDs.
Right.
I mean, keep in mind too, she had access to a ton of. She could get people's information. Like, how many people have been arrested but let go? They dropped the charges. Well, guess what? Now she's got their name, date of birth, social security number. She's got everything.
Yeah.
So she could have easily had access to that and was hoping to be able to go into the state DMV and get a driver's license in their name, assuming she could even figure that out, how to do that.
Yeah.
He certainly couldn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't that bright.
No, he wasn't.
Or isn't that bright?
No, he isn't that bright.
So then they've been gone for 11 days, and at some point they dropped off a pickup truck at a car wash. And the owner of the car wash, it was there for, like a day or two? He noticed it was there for a day or two. And so he checked the cameras and saw the two of them and realized, hey, wait a minute, this may be them.
No, they didn't drop their truck off at a car wash and leave it there for a day or two.
I thought that's what happened.
No. It's one of those pull-and-stall fucking car washes where you just pull in and you hose it down yourself. But the dude working there recognized them, and when they left, he called the police, the sheriffs, and then gave them the description of the truck, and they got the camera. So the sheriffs showed up there. They got the camera footage, and they're like, okay, this is the vehicle we're looking for, and we know they're in the area because they were just here.
Oh, I think he actually dropped off. He left the truck there.
No, because they got into a chase in the truck, and they got into a fucking rollover fucking accident in the truck.
It wasn't in the truck,
and we seen that live on TV.
No, they weren't in the truck. The chase wasn't in the truck.
How do you know that?
Because they abandoned the truck at the park at the.
Oh, I got a whole different story then from what I watched.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Well, let's give it a go.
Vicky White abandoned truck car wash. So here's the truck, right?
Yeah, they're washing it.
Here's the guy, and here's what he says. Hey, sorry for interrupting the video, but want to let you guys know that if you join my Patreon at the top tier, every single month you get a different painting, and the contact information for my Patreon page is in the description. Back to the video.
When we got the tip that there was something brewing in Evansville, Indiana, which is about 2.5 hours from where we were in Tennessee, and it was believed that Casey and Vicky were spotted here, and then we found out they indeed were. At this car wash behind me, they were spotted on surveillance camera by the manager here, who's really the reason this entire thing ended today. It ended with a police chase and Vicky and Casey White now apprehended. I want to bring in the manager of this car wash. Tell me what you first spotted here at the car wash.
Yeah, first
Told you, we seen him.
On last Tuesday, a truck sticking out of the car wash bay. It's always unusual when one's sticking out. I leave and come back, the truck's still there. I leave and come back, the truck's still there. Even up late at night, the truck's still there. I go in, go to bed. I get up at 6 o'clock the next morning, take my granddaughter to school. The truck's still there.
They abandoned it.
Once I get her to school, she gets out of my truck around 7:30. We'll come back and check it out. I come back, I walk up to the truck, I notice the windows are down, and my first thought is could be this guy from Alabama.
Could be.
Being there asleep, passed out, suicide, whatever. I'm kind of nervous about it, so I looked over in the truck. Nobody's in it. I opened the door.
See.
The keys are in
Gotcha.
ignition.
You're right.
I thought was unusual. I tried to start the truck. The truck started right up, so I know there wasn't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, see, that's not a truck they were in.
They're in the Cadillac.
They were in the Cadillac.
All right.
Yeah, he found they abandoned it. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know why
I didn't know that. I thought, yeah.
And
I guess
it
I had gotten.
started. that's what's so weird is like the truck started. Like it's not like it broke down. You abandoned it in a truck, like
in a stall in the fucking
where it's going to be found immediately. Like you can't drive off into the fucking woods
or go put it in a subdivision or a parking lot. Like
go park it next to the project.
It's like they were fucking high or something.
No, everything they did was fucked up.
It's fucking crazy.
So I mean, think about it. You could have driven to the closest projects, taken the
couple
keys,
of fucking dummies,
and put the keys on the thing and walked away. Someone had stolen the car within a few hours.
Yeah.
They drive it around. They probably bring it to a chop shop, chop it all up, and they never find the truck.
Yeah, a couple of fucking dummies.
Like, why didn't you just drive it straight to the police station and leave it in the police station? But yeah, so then they knew they were in the area. Well, or they thought, well, they'd been.
That's how they fucking found out they were in there, because that truck,
right.
They didn't know where the fuck they were.
Right, but they thought this is what the sheriff had said. Like, we thought they had been. We at least knew they had been in this area at this time, but we didn't really know if they were still here. We didn't think they were still here. Sure enough, they were though. They start looking around at the motels and everything, and they track them down at this cheap motel. And when they're pulling to the motel, they see them. They jump. They're in their vehicle and they take off. So they track them back to a hotel, and they take off. And then the marshals stop them. Hey, sorry for interrupting the video, but want to let you guys know that if you join my Patreon at the top tier, every single month you get a different painting, and the contact information for my Patreon page is in the description. Back to the video. Well, first of all, I was going to mention her falling in love with this guy. First of all, she's not that sharp, but
yeah, she can't be.
No. Well, first of all, you're falling in love with a big dummy.
Yeah.
So, secondly, I wanted to mention something else. Was all those pictures that they've been showing? Like, I saw an interview where they had interviewed a guy who knew her, and he was saying she didn't look anything like that picture.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like they were like, first of all, she was pale. She had blonde hair, was pale, and there was a filter on the photo. He was saying she had wrinkles. She was in her late 50s, had wrinkles, and her hair was darker. So she could have probably easily gotten away. He, of course, was 6'9". So he's 6'9". They're walking around together.
They're going to have to fucking hide his ass at night like a goddamn vampire, have him coming in and out of buildings and cars and shit, just right from the building to the car.
Yeah, you can't even be together.
No, yeah, you're right, yeah.
I mean, think about it. I would, to me, that they should not have been seen outside to get, he would have had to have stayed inside.
Yeah.
She would have had to gone back and forth.
Because she could probably get out and move around.
Yeah, because she didn't look like the picture. And two, they said, look, if she dyed her hair gray or put on a wig and a frumpy dress, she looked like a completely different person in that photo. She could move around. He can't. But instead, they're walking around together. They're hanging out together. Like, everybody's looking for you, and they're walking around together. They don't have fake IDs. They're hanging out in the general vicinity.
Yeah.
I don't know what her plan was. Because he doesn't have one.
Yeah.
So falls in love with this idiot, and then she stays, and then she's obviously not.
How do you think
sharp.
that happened?
I don't know, because I've seen, I've known of relationships in prison, and these guys definitely work.
Oh, they're chicken hawks.
Oh yeah, they're definitely working these female guards.
Chicken hawks. And listen, especially the motherfuckers in there with no shame.
Yeah.
That don't mind crossing boundaries and pressing limits and saying inappropriate shit to people that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that fucking go after them like snakes and like wolves.
They also get them though.
Well, yeah,
these are women that this is a woman who's clearly she's deprived of any type of affection. She lives with her mother. Yeah. She's desperate for affection. The ex-husband is dead. Apparently he got sick, or they got divorced. He got sick. They lived together until he died. She moved in with her, and then she moved in with her mother.
Wow.
So she's a nice person. I want to live. She's 59 years old. She's been working at the jail for 17 years. And I don't know what she thought. She was going to leave the country and do what? You're 59 years old. Where are you going to go? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
And she retired. She put in her retirement paperwork.
Yeah. She was retiring that day.
What are you doing? What do you think they're going to send you your pension in Mexico? I mean, you're not getting your pension. Why would you put in your paperwork even?
Oh, man.
So, Anyway, she
Yeah, it just seems like a fucking harebrained scheme to fucking begin with, dude.
it's total just bumbling.
Yeah, bumbling, fumbling, fucking Alabama foolery.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's like,
Bro, it's late too.
well, whatever
Sorry.
whatever you want to do, man.
I'm not.
It's like that. What's that one movie where they robbed the NASCAR fucking, and it's got
Is that the one where the guy had his arm?
Yeah.
That was a great movie. It's a great movie where they get out of the jail
they had
and
to
go
break the dude out of jail.
Yes,
They had to break
and
him
then they
back
break
in.
him back in. God, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
What movie is that?
That's a good one. That's just what this whole thing reminds me of. It's a bunch of country
No, that-
ass motherfuckers.
No, that movie was brilliant. Those guys were
Yeah.
brilliant.
No,
They
you're
pulled
right.
it off.
Yeah, you're right.
These.
Had Channing Tatum in it,
Oh my God, you're right.
and it had what's the dude that fucking plays James Bond?
Tatum. Heist movie.
Yeah, I don't remember that dude's name, but
Yeah. It's hold on. Daniel Craig heist movie NASCAR.
you gotta learn how to Google things better. You just feed a bunch of random keywords, and there's a sequence of
First of all, there's no sequence at all because it didn't pull up any of it.
no. Then put in this. Then, Channing Tatum, Daniel Craig movie. Yeah, pull it right up.
Yes, it did. It was called what? Logan Lucky.
That's it, Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky.
Yeah, that's good.
God, that was a good movie.
That's a good one.
So if you were gonna, I have a question. If you were going to, well, you had fake IDs, but you had fake IDs that were fake IDs. They're like,
But I had real people's name and information. And
on the
journalists
okay.
on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, you know, to me, I go in the DMV
Yeah.
and get them to give me an ID.
Yeah.
You can manufacture.
I figured out
them.
how to make them really good.
Right.
Yeah.
So they'll pass. Would they pass scrutiny?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Black light. They swiped. They scanned everything.
Okay. So she's not going to be able to figure that out. Like, you know, she's just not. I mean, obviously, she's not going to be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
She's not going to get far. She's not going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know what the plan was. And they only found her with like $30,000 or $35,000. That's all they found on them. So, not that the money matters because it was her money. It's not like it's stolen money. But I'm wondering, where was that money
Where did
stashed?
the other $60,000 go?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a lot more than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he just, so anyway, in the end, the cops pull up on them. They're at the hotel. They jump in their vehicle. They take off. Was it the marshals? I think it was the marshals, not the police, but it was the marshals. They ram the vehicle. Vicky pulls a gun and shoots herself in the head. And
Yeah.
Casey,
I didn't see that one coming.
well, you know, the thing is, like,
I did not see that one coming.
Well, here's what's funny is, like, if you watch if you listen to
That's the twist in the whole fucking thing.
if you listen to the tapes of his first arrest, he's talking about killing himself. He's talking about forcing the police to kill him, right? That's his first arrest when he had done the kidnappings. So, you know, and this time he just gives himself up. But keep in mind, this is a guy.
Maybe
who's
she
been
thought
in
he was
prison.
gonna kill himself too, and she fucking shot herself in the head. He's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking."
They had plenty of guns.
Oh, I had a whole arsenal.
But here's the thing. He's used to prison. So he's not that concerned. She's afraid she's going to be embarrassed. She's humiliated. This didn't work out. Like, she's going to shoot herself. I can't. You know that a CO becoming, or I would say CO, so a guard, a prison guard, having to become, or even a police officer, having to become an actual inmate. A lot of them will kill themselves. Like, they can't imagine. Like, in their minds, inmates are so far beneath who they are.
Yeah.
They'll kill themselves.
Like, I've been running this joint for the last 20 years, and now I'm gonna fucking be somewhere like here.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right. And so she shot herself. So I can see her shooting herself. And I thought he'd shoot himself because he had said it before. Instead, he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." Here's the big thing. So here's the real question: is this? Is it? I think he did care about her. He must have liked her.
Well, yeah, they said that. I read something where he kept referring to her as his wife.
Okay. So he liked her. It's not like it was a scam. A lot of these guys, like, they'll basically scam a female CO so that she'll bring in contraband or she'll send money to his books. Or guys will start up a relationship with a woman just so that when they leave prison, they have somewhere to go, right? Oh, there's guys that will marry women in prison just because that way she comes to visit me.
Oh, yeah.
She sends me food.
What's his name?
Sends me money. She'll come to visitation, get me food. Like she'll do stuff for me.
What's his name was with that big girl.
Who?
He got shipped and they fucking brought him back and fucking.
Oh, you're talking about Cook.
Cook, yeah.
Cook. Yeah, with Dave's. That was That was Dave's sister. So
yeah.
But here's the thing.
He came back from visitation. I said, "How big is she?"
Oh yeah,
he said, "I couldn't get my arms around her."
Oh my god, so bad. So what I'm wondering about is because think about it, he could have gotten out. Like he could have, if it was bullshit, he could have gotten out. Seen her when they got together. He's like, "Oh my gosh, baby, do you have the money? You have the weapons? You have this? You have our IDs? What?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So everything's good, right?" Boom! Smashed her right in the head. Grabbed everything. Walked away. Left her on the side of the road. Like he could have done that.
Yeah.
He must have really cared about her because he stuck with her the whole time. So it wasn't for him. It wasn't a scam. He genuinely thought he had probably fallen in love. How old was he? She's what, 59?
Yeah, I don't know. That's another good question.
Yeah.
I didn't know how old he was.
I think she was 59. Casey White, age.
There you go.
It's nothing, bro. I don't know why this thing is not working. Casey White, age.
I want to say he was 47.
Really?
46 or 47.
He got himself an older girl, huh?
A decade. There's nothing wrong with the more seasoned lady.
Casey White. Age. All right. This is not.
It's not giving you what you want.
No. Unbelievable. Casey White. We got his. We got the. Yeah, bro. Come on. What's happening here?
Oh man.
Here it is. Unbelievable. Like I just hit Casey White age. It actually said it, and then it didn't do shit. Didn't give me dick. How old is this? See, now I'm pissed. Now I'm finding out I give a fuck.
Well, I guess the world will never know.
I guess
It's just gonna be a
feel
mystery.
Like it's important. Yeah. Well, anyway, he's.
We're trying to determine the age gap between the.
I think
Between the whites.
I think.
You got to see this documentary. It's called The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's about this fucking hillbilly family out in West Virginia that.
Oh, he's 38.
Wow.
Casey White, 38.
He's my age. He looks 48.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. Listen, he had got like a, what do they call it?
Oh, wait, she was 56. So she was 56.
Yeah.
Well, you said, I remember when I was running the mortgage company, I remember one of my brokers had a husband and wife, and they were African American, and their last name was Black. And I would periodically, I'd say, "Hey, what's happening with the Johnson file?" and I would go, hey, what's happening with the blacks file? And the mortgage broker would go, hey, they're African American. I mean, he did it every single time. So anyway, I thought that was funny. So yeah, the whites.
Whites.
Hey, they're Caucasian. All right, so yeah, it's a bust. There was no plan. It wasn't the Great Escape.
Yeah. You know, it's a bummer, man. I was really rooting for these two. You know what I mean? Like, I was really hoping that they got away and fucking nobody ever fucking found them ever again.
Wouldn't that be great? You just walked.
It's just like, fucking folklore, like fucking DB Cooper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they just walked into the fucking sunset. And nobody ever seen them again.
It's not gonna happen.
Unfortunately, that just wasn't the case with these two here.
Yeah, we should look up. Like, there's got to be a few people that have escaped and just never been found. There was a guy in Coleman named Doc. He'd been gone for 25 years.
No way.
Yeah. Gone for 25 years, was living in South America for 25 years. It was a huge drug case, actually. You know what's funny? He was going to trial, and during the trial, he and his lawyer were having lunch. And he goes, how's it going? So Doc says to his lawyer, how's it? So what do you think? How's it going? He goes, I think... He looked at me, he said, I think maybe you shouldn't come back to the trial or come back to the courtroom. He goes, it's not going good. And he goes, okay. Well, he said, I will see you after lunch. And he goes, all right. And he got up, he went, he got in his car and drove off and never came back. And of course, his lawyer goes into court and says, Your Honor.
Yeah, Your Honor.
I don't know where he is.
Yeah.
So he took off. He went to South America.
What year was this?
Oh, this was back in the 80s. So he actually gets to somewhere in South America because he was dealing in drugs. He gets to South America and he lives down there, like in whatever it was, Brazil or Colombia or something. He stays down there 25 years. But he periodically would call back and talk his ex-wife, talk to her about his kids, whatever. His ex-wife at some point, they got into an argument, whatever happened, I don't know. She picked up the phone. She called turned him in. They went down there and they grabbed him.
God damn it.
Yeah. He came back. Oh, by the way, he had been found guilty because he never showed up. So he was found guilty and sentenced and he was sentenced even though he wasn't there. I forget what they call that, in absentia. Anyway, and so he got like a 30-year sentence or something,
They threw the book at him.
So when he comes back, he went to Coleman Low. He'd been locked up a few years. I talked to him a few times.
Yeah.
Nice guy. And
well, I mean, listen.
Actually wasn't that nice of a guy.
But he traded the time he spent down in South America for the sentence.
Yeah.
You got your 30 years. Now you got to come fucking pay for it.
Yeah. So he was in the low, and there really wasn't much he could do. He lost at trial. Wasn't there for half of it. And he got 30 years, and so he was. But yeah, for like 25 years, I think he was on the run. 2020. He said he was like one of the longest. I think it may have been one of the longest running fugitives out there.
Wow.
I wish I could remember his real name, but they called him Doc. They called him Doc because he actually was down in South America and was like delivering medicine. Like one of the things he did down there was he had like a pharmacy or something, and he also delivered medicine. So everybody called him Doc.
Where do you think you could go in this world where they can't come get you?
Oh, I think they'd come get you anywhere.
Anywhere, huh?
If the problem is they have to find you. Like extradition is one thing. A lot of people will say, go to a country where there's no extradition. All extradition means means is that the local police, let's say the U.S. government says, hey, we are looking for these people. They're in your country. If you find them, arrest them, send them back. So then the local people find them and they arrest these people, the criminals, whatever, and then they contact the country that wants them, and then they extradite them to that country. Like, that's all it means, is that they'll pick up your people, or if they find your people, they'll give them to you. But the truth is, like during apartheid, in South Africa, there was no extradition with South Africa, and there were Americans would go there, and the FBI would simply call the South Africans and say, listen, some of our citizens that we have warrants for are here at this apartment complex, and we're here. We've got FBI agents in country. We're going to pick them up and bring them back. Could you please keep the police out of that area, or if you get a call about anything, not come. Understand that there's 3 FBI agents or 4 FBI agents in the area, and they would go, yeah, no problem. Like, these are your citizens. You can grab them, take them away. Yeah. We don't care.
Yeah, they'll send a task force to come extract you from anywhere in the world.
They'll kidnap you.
Yeah.
Like I mean, there are people like Blackwater.
They'll go in like fucking Osama bin Laden. They'll send SEAL Team 6 in to get you if you're that fucking high of a target.
Yeah. They have private companies that will just, if they know where someone is.
They're like bounty hunters.
Right.
But international. And they're all ex-military.
They'll hang out. Like Blackwater. They'll hang out. Sit in a van for 3 days. Make sure it's their guy. This isn't the police. These are like private security
corporations.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll walk up, hit you with a fucking taser, throw a bag over your head, throw you in the back of the van, drive you straight to the airport.
Put you on a private
jet, fly you out. No problem. The people in South America or in Europe, like they don't care. This isn't our citizen. They're not kidnapping one of our citizens. This is a U.S. citizen, and the U.S. The U.S. Law enforcement or whoever is grabbing them, and they got them, and there's a warrant, and we don't want these problems. None of our business. So, yeah, the extradition isn't what people think.
Yeah. But where do you think you could hide if you were gonna fucking? See, it depends your level of wanted. Like how much wanted are you?
And how much money you have.
So let's say you knocked over fucking 10 banks and you got fucking, I don't know, $2 million in cash. Where do I go? Where do you go? You go to Europe? Do you go to South America? Do you go to fucking Asia?
God, you stick out like it depends on what you look like. Like I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
I don't know, man.
In South America, if I get dark enough,
because you get pretty dark when you start tanning. You could fucking blend right in with those motherfuckers. Get you a fucking sombrero and some fucking.
It also depends on how high profile it is.
Yeah. Well, like I said, let's just say it's just regular bank robbery. Say you knocked over 10 banks and you got $2 million. They know who you are. They got your name. They know who you are for sure, and you're on the run.
I mean, I'm thinking. My fear is Croatia or somewhere like that. My fear is that the kinds of places that you can go and stay, and they won't, and maybe you can hide out. The problem is you're basically living in some place like Croatia. But with $2 million, anywhere in the world you go to, you're gonna have a nice place. Yeah, assuming they don't take the money.
And then you just have to, you have to learn you gotta have all that planned out. So you're gonna have to learn the local the get down. You know what I mean? You have to learn how to just blend in with the locals, deal with the locals, their currency.
I'm thinking one of the Eastern Bloc countries. Yeah,
one of the Slavic countries.
Romania. Yeah, you go to Romania, like they've got places.
Dagestan. Kusik, Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan, yeah, someplace like that.
Wow, yeah, that's true.
God, those countries are so depressing. Though.
I know,
you talk about
no sun.
You talk about Indiana and stuff being like there's just gray, dark gray, muggy, no sun.
You don't speak the language.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Croatia. I mean, it was actually, it wasn't bad, but. It's like, and there's no money.
I always said Australia, but then when I seen what happened after COVID, during the COVID thing, when all, I don't know if you were paying attention to what happened.
It was like a police state.
Insane, it was dude. They locked them all in camps, and it's like, well, Australia's off the fucking map now. I wanted to go over there and live and but yeah, I had no idea how bad it would have got. So it's like, well, now I can't fuck around. But it's like, Australia's so fucking big. It's like, you could probably go build something out in the bush somewhere, but then you gotta go live out in the bush.
Yeah. That was my fear with when I was on the run, going to Mexico. Okay, yeah, but now I have to live in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to live in Mexico. I don't want to. It's a frightening place with all the cartels.
You definitely can't hide anywhere in the United States.
No.
Small towns, you're fucked. Big cities, there's always the chance of somebody recognizing you.
Yeah.
You know, you can change your identity. Don't ever call anybody you know or check any old emails or log into any fucking anything. And, you know, stay off social media. And
Yeah, these guys were never going to get away.
Yeah.
Like if they had a plan and maybe they found him somewhere in South America, I'd be like, hey, at least they had a plan. They they did the best they could, but it was too high profile. These two knuckleheads made it, 3 or 4 hours away, and then they're, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It just depends on also the amount of media. Look, if it was something like there was no media and they really just put a warrant out for you, you could definitely get away.
You can move 3 towns over and fucking.
You'd be fine. Yeah. But yeah, not if there's a lot of press and they're really looking. If they're really looking, they're gonna find you.
When they asked Whitey Bulger how he fucking stayed gone for so long, what'd he say? Just never leave house at night.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. He said only come out during the daytime. He said never leave the house at night.
Huh.
And that's how he lived for all those years. When the sun went down, he was at the house.
Why? You feel like there was trouble at night or something?
I mean, you get pulled over or get fucking questioned or fucking, I don't know. I guess during the daytime, it's easier just to blend in with the crowd if you're like an older gentleman.
And they were looking for him,
Dude,
too.
he was in Vegas. Fucking, that's where they caught him, right? In Vegas. And he was out there fucking playing craps and fucking,
Was he?
Yeah.
I thought they caught him in Florida. No? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they got him in Vegas.
We got to find out.
Or Atlantic City or fucking Reno, one of the fucking... Because I remember seeing video of him sitting there at fucking the slot machines just chilling with a bucket hat on and some sunglasses. Like the like Ocean's 11 fucking old man garb. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. He was an old...
It's in the 70s, wasn't it?
He was retired, right? No, he was in California.
Did they get him in California?
Mm-hmm. He was on the run for 16 years.
Yeah, 16 years.
Can you imagine? They caught him. He had $600,000
in cash.
Yeah, in cash,
and
weapons throughout the whole house.
Yeah,
tons of weapons.
Oh, people were gonna try and come and get him. Listen, you seen that movie Black Mass?
No,
Johnny Depp.
I want to see it. Oh, Whitey Bulger.
That's a good one, dude. Oh, it's a fucking good one.
You understand that, like,
you don't even realize it's Johnny Depp for like the first 15 minutes of the movie, and you're like, oh my god, that's fucking. Well, I mean, obviously, if you know it's Depp, then right. But it's like, dude, they did such a good job on the makeup and fucking. Yeah, you gotta check that one out, man. I'm surprised you haven't seen that one. You've seen everything else.
No, but there's some. Yeah, in Santa Monica. In Santa Monica,
right,
well,
yeah, that's right there where I used to fucking live.
Yeah.
Down there in Florida. That's where all the old gangsters go.
I just assume, yeah.
We're going down to Florida.
Well, Bulger, 81.
81 years old. So he went on the run when he was in his late 60s.
Wow, bro. Yeah, I wanted to see Black Mass, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And yet, literally, like, I'll think about it, like, I've thought about getting that movie probably within the last 4 or 5 days or the last week. I actually thought, because I'm constantly thinking like, I'd like to get, because there's so many good movies that came out when I was locked up.
Oh, I know. Playing catch up some motherfuckers.
Right, and I still am. I'm still like finding out this and this and that. And yeah, definitely. I definitely have to watch that. But yeah, back to the escaped fugitives. They're just done. They were done, and it's over. And this idiot, I wouldn't be shocked if he did write that confession letter just to try and get himself moved back to that. Like, that totally makes
100%, because that's the only way he was going to get back into a position to where she could,
manipulate the situation.
Spring him, yeah. And they, they had it all planned. I mean, they did a good job of planning up until that point, and I feel like she did kind of a good job of planning.
Yeah, she got him out. Yeah, all that was flawless.
Mm-hmm.
But
it went off without a hitch.
Yeah. But then it went bad.
It went off without a hitch, and then they didn't really think it through. Other than that, they didn't get too far in the planning stages. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
All right, you ready? Wrap this up?
Yeah, do your outro, man.
All right, I'm doing my outro, which is, what do I usually say? Hey, this is Matt. Hey, this is Matt. No, thanks. Hey, thanks for watching the video. And if you like the video, do me a favor. Which, by the way, I can't imagine you did like the video. It was horrible. But if you did like the video, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, so you get notified of videos like this, leave me some really horrible comment in the comment section, and share the video. And I think that's pretty much it. And I appreciate you guys watching.
And subscribe to my YouTube channel, Boseak Conundrum Podcast, and subscribe to my Clips channel, Boseak Conundrum Clips.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I got a Clips channel too. Subscribe to that. All right. See ya.
Peace.